So good evening everyone. Today is the Sunday the 8th of March. We're all gathering this time to do this evening chanting that we normally do every evening as a part of our practice. It is also part of expression of our appreciation and also a homage to the Buddha. So today, Sunday, we were very busy with the clearing out around the center. And Gavin was clearing all the windows of the building early morning after breakfast. And Carl and Barbara began clearing the wood and around the buildings. That looks much better, much tidier. And I also joined in, and I felt really tired after that. I was moving the woods and cutting the woods, moving the stones and like that. But it was good. In the meantime, there are stories that I come across today. It's quite interesting. It was a long time ago. One of my friends, she moved to Wolverhampton that time, and it happened that her ex-husband came to visit to their child, and it happened that they both were having disputes, and she had to drop him off in the airport. So it happened that I was a mediator, and I was sitting with them, traveling with them to the airport. And this gentleman was not a gentleman, the husband, ex-husband. I do not understand much by then the English language. We were talking in English language, but I could feel the tension, the fight, the aggression. And now and then he was like kind of abusing their child. But somehow she had a deep respect me as a monk. So my presence helped her to calm out of a respect. She was kind of wanted to, according to her story, she was wanted to shout, she wanted to scream, and she wanted to even beat, and even she was thinking of a gun, like that. But somehow, because of my presence, she was mindful, and she managed to control her emotions and able to keep calm and the fight didn't last long. And today they visited me. So their visit was quite unexpected, and had a chat, and she told me that you have saved my life many times, which I haven't forgotten. I have forgotten that. So as a monk, sometimes we don't have to do anything. Just being in the presence can help. And I was surprised that how it helped, which I'd never thought of helping, which I never thought of intervening there, but I was simply accompanying. So that was a quite interesting story. And I bet that over the time that I have lived in the UK for 20 years, I have come across similar stories quite a lot. But sometimes I don't have to say, but just being in the presence can help people. Like here in Aberdeen, there was a boy, he was behaving so bad, and then his mother always wanted me to have him in a temple. Normally say, Achan, can you train him? And then I normally used to say to myself, you didn't bring them when they were young. And now you want me to train them when they are naughty and they not listen to you. So then it happened that one day I was in the family home visiting. I was visiting their granny, and I was talking to the granny. And this boy screams, come, and running around. And his mother was like shouting and behave like that. But this boy wasn't listening at all. But I was just calmly sitting there talking and chatting with the granny. I didn't bother this boy. I didn't even engage or never bother about his running around. And somehow this boy made their mobile phone dropped from the table and broke. And that was bad enough. And she was so ferocious. And she was like grabbing a child. And then somehow this boy ran to me and sat next to me. And his mother could not pull him and punish. So somehow my presence saved him, and even the anger that she was having, so cooled down. And later, a year later, I visited this granny. She's very fragile now. I haven't visited actually. I haven't visited for some times. And I met them again and saying that if I wasn't there, this boy may not survive. Like that. So that's why the presence is sometimes quite strangely, that supports or help. And that same thing, now it reminds me of my parents when they died. I was there because of that. My family members were much calmer, able to deal with. So this is how a monk's duty is. Once we are a monk, it's like there is a feeling of a joy of serving in many forms, in many ways. And the more we see the stories that we have saved or we have done to help them in whichever ways, it really gives satisfaction and happiness. Obviously, we are not enlightened yet. I'm not enlightened yet. And there are flaws and there are some ups and downs and anger and disputes and disagreements for sure. But however, as a monk, I have been trained probably, or I have been trained myself to rejoice in the service of others, and which echoes the teachings that the Buddha gave to the 60 monks on the day after his enlightenment. So after his enlightenment, he thought that, okay, he's going to teach his previous fellow friends, 5 of them living in Varanasi. So that he traveled to them and he gave them teachings. After they have heard the teachings, they become enlightened. And meantime, other 55 joined the Buddha, led by Yesa, a man called Yesa, who was quite wealthy and had similar mansions like the Buddha had. But he was dispassionate and disillusioned with all the luxurious life he had. So he went into the forest for a walk, thinking that he might find a peace there. So as he walked, so he saw a Buddha, and a Buddha invited him, and then the Buddha, after listening Buddha's teachings, he got enlightened, and later on his 54 friends also joined and listened the talk, and then they also became the arhats. So with that, at that time, 60 disciples were there. And then at that time, the Buddha admonished all the 60 monks, saying that, "Go forth, monks, for the welfare and happiness of all beings. Travel far and wide for the welfare and happiness of many." So with that, it really reflects as well that whenever I feel someone feel happy with my even a little service, I feel so happy, and I feel joy. That's the merit. Like today, there's another family came, so 2 families. So one family with a boy about, I forgot how old this boy is, maybe 2 years old boy, and another couple that she came because she is so happy that she is pregnant, so she wanted to have a blessings. Now this boy, I remember last year when he came, whenever I touch or whenever I call him, he cries out loud, like has seen a ghost, cries out loud. Whatever I give him, it doesn't want to. But somehow today became so familiar. And this boy, I told him, "If you behave, I will give you a chocolate." And he behaved. And that boy really calmed the parents. And parents were very happy. And I even asked this boy to come to my lap. And this boy came from a boy who was very afraid and cried out loud, and today it was perfectly fine. And there's another couple who was pregnant and wanted to have a blessings. And they have been here in Aberdeen for 5 years. But I'd never seen them before. Somehow now they're settling their house probably and having a family. Now they need a blessing, so they came. So I did a blessing chanting and had a little chat. And with that chatting, they were so happy. And when I saw they were happy, I feel happy too. And my old tiredness just disappeared, having seen them and their happiness. So after that, they left. Then again, my tiredness returned. So I had a warm shower just to relax myself and lie down and listening the talks like that. So these are the services that I found very rejoicing and happiness. And in the meantime, when I was lying down and listening the talks, I reflected that so many people are coming to help, volunteering, supporting the clearing and cleaning and looking after the temple and so on. There are so many things that I can't even think about it. There are so many things that I even can't see. And yet our volunteers, they have come and they see it and they volunteer to do things without me knowing. And that's quite a thing. So when I see everybody is coming, and I feel so happy and also helping, like these, as we know, when we clear it, whoever sees it, they feel like, oh, this is very tidy, this is very nice, like that. So it is also a form of the practice that, particularly in a forest tradition, whoever lives in a temple, everybody will be joining together and taking responsibility without the abbot instructing them. They just take on the actions and working on that. But the instruction always been given that do not work to finish it, work mindfully and enjoy the work. And that is the key. Most of the time people think that I have to finish it and then work so hard, and then the work become a burden rather than enjoyment. So in the practice, that's why it's very important that whatever work you do, you got to enjoy and doing it mindfully. Not to finish it, but to enjoy and doing it mindfully. So which is the reason we don't feel tired mentally. Maybe physically a bit tired because we use the energy, but mentally we rejoice and we feel happy. And even little things that really boosts our happiness. And further on, while we are doing something and then somebody comes and give a hand or even ask for something, then we feel happy. So it boosts our the merit making that we are making, accumulating. And in the meantime, it also helps us to develop our practice of a mindfulness too. And it helps us to understand our feelings, our emotions, and so on. And in the meantime, we are enjoying that. So that's why it's called a practice in progress or in action. So that's why whatever we do, we got to be very mindful and enjoying and rejoice in it. But overall, as me being the abbot, which again I didn't choose to be, but it just happened to be. I feel very joy and happy and feel appreciated. All the support that I am receiving, particularly even today, so many people are helping to the temple. So I really appreciate. Thank you, everyone. So I think with this, let's do the chanting.